We spent 7 days in Kyoto, Japan,
Nights.
nights in Kyoto, Japan, and we're going to talk about our experience. Let's
Let's
go.
go. What did you expect Kyoto to be before we got there?
Well, I did the minimum of research on a place because that's what I do. And I knew it was the cultural capital of Japan. I knew that there was a lot of history there, which always sparks my interest. And I was expecting to be overwhelmed.
Oh, interesting.
What about you?
I didn't have a lot of expectations. I I typically don't when we go to new places. I just try to take it as it is.
And as well, that's kind of the model for how we travel. So
Right. We had just come from Sapporo. Did that first taste of Japan change what you were expecting from Kyoto?
kind of did. For me, did it affect yours?
It did because we were definitely in a city. We're like just in the middle of a city. And I guess I was kind of thinking that's what it'd be like in Kyoto too.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were definitely in a downtown in Sapporo, but in Kyoto, that was a big change because we went from a working city to being in a highly touristed historical part of a
The
city
old
where
town.
the whole time there's a lot of walking, and it wasn't as, I mean, the cars, they're there, but it wasn't as car culture in the space that we were at, simply because we were in a very walking street area. So that did kind of color it, but it definitely changed when we hit Kyoto.
Was there anything you were nervous or uncertain about before we got there?
Now I think I got all my nervous and uncertainty out of Kyoto, or out of Sapporo. So by the time I got to Kyoto, I was like, "All right, let's roll." How about you?
I was concerned about the amount of people because we were staying in Old Town.
Oh yeah,
What surprised you the most about Kyoto?
I was actually I expected to be overwhelmed, and I was not even close to understanding how many historic buildings and how many temples and
Shrines.
shrines and historic buildings and things to see. I could have spent a month there.
What was your favorite moment or place from the 7 nights?
Actually, it came through on the travel video. It's the wonder what's up there, and I actually kept that in the travel video. When I turned left, I'm like, well, there's stairs. It's one of those things. There's so much. You can literally be anywhere. It's kind of like Rome. Rome is a good example. Is that everywhere is something historic. Well, everywhere in Kyoto was, and so we wandered up a hill, and just came across another temple and a huge graveyard, which I love graveyards. But what about you? Did you have any great moments, surprises?
Celebrating your birthday with
Oh,
you.
wow. That's it. That's the easy card. Thanks. And I have to say, she really had to find a regular Western style cake, which took some fine doing and bribery of another baker to find one. But
So Sapporo felt like a Japanese city built for the Japanese people. Kyoto felt like the whole world showed up. How did that change the experience for you?
I thought it was a big shift in the face of the people on the street.
Mm.
I thought that where I thought Sapporo was a, a city built for Japanese people with uh, Japanese or at least Asian tourists. I think that when we got to Kyoto had a lot of people from a lot of different places, and so that really did sort of color my experience.
So we stumbled onto some significant places without even knowing what they were, like Otani Sobyo
Sobyo.
and which was the cemetery above Chōraku-ji. And does discovering something by accident change how you feel about it?
Yeah, it does and it doesn't. I really like just exploring and letting my feet carry me, my curiosity carry me. I think that you have to let yourself explore. You have, and it's a safe place to be, at least in the ward
Where
we're
we
in.
were.
And yeah, so you can pretty much wander everywhere and feel comfortable and safe. So let your curiosity drive you.
Was there anything that didn't live up to what you had expected?
I'll let you feel that one. I'll come up with something.
Well, I didn't have any expectations, so
All
no, they
right.
can't not live up to them.
Yeah, I guess I can't really say there was anything that didn't live up to my expectations. If anything, Kyoto pretty much uh, succeeded in blowing away my expectations.
So we paid $180 a night to be in Gion. Was the location worth the price?
Absolutely. It's painful. And I know there are plenty of people out there that spend way more than we do, but we've traveled with backpacks and we're budget travelers. But it really um, helped to be within feet,
Yeah, steps.
literally steps from our front door of all of the wonderful things in the ward for us to see. And that really did accelerate our experience. And don't skimp on accommodation when it comes to Kyoto. Find something that's in the zone that you want to be because
That you want to be. So
you
if
know
you want to be in residential, there's boards for that. And you want to be in busy city center, I'm sure there's boards for that. So
indeed, I think
yeah.
that's a good way to look at it.
We came back to the Kiyomizu-dera a second time early in the morning because the first time was too crowded. How did that change it for you?
Immeasurably, because we wandered and we turned a corner as we hit Kiyomizu-dera and we wanted to get there because we knew it was down that way. And we walked up the hill and turned left and right into a throng of people and buses and just, and it was midday. And so that's kind of what you expect to find. I think that coming back when we did at the early parts of dawn made it a lot easier. There were everybody out there, pretty much 100% of the people who are out there at that time in the morning are out there trying to get the best shot with their camera and they're taking pictures. So it's no tourists. It's just the photojournalists out there trying to take pictures. So you get good shots and it's much easier to experience the place.
What would you do differently if we went back?
I think I would check out a different ward.
Hmm?
We spent so much time in one that it, right around Gion that it was I feel like there's so much to unpack from Kyoto outside that we just if we went back, I would love to learn more about other parts of the city. What about you, honey?
I'd stay longer.
Yeah, I agree. 7 days wasn't nearly enough
Yeah.
time.
So would you go back?
Absolutely, I would definitely go back. And once again, I would go to a different ward.
What's one thing you'd tell someone who was thinking about going?
My one thing is that get up early. Get up early because when the city wakes up and all the tourists come out, everything gets flooded. So make your break, get out there as early as you can, and probably somewhere in more of an off season. We were there just after the cherry blossom season, like just after. There were still a
Just
few
after
trees.
peak.
Yeah, just after peak, so it was already descending. So there's a lot of tourists there, but I would imagine that there are also lower tourist periods of the year that would be good to do there. And I didn't do the research on that because we were coming through and we stopped when we could.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
It's absolutely lovely, but if you don't like crowds, Old Town is not the word for you.
Yep. That's our questions for today. We do encourage you to do some research on Kyoto and consider it as a wonderful stop.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.